Divya Khurana, Associate Professor, School of Law, and our Faculty of Law, and my dear students, to the National Intellectual Property Fest. The National Intellectual Property Fest is based on the theme of access to educational resources and IP, the thin line between copy and not to copy. Now I would like to give a brief overview of our fest. Our fest is divided between three main segments: IP detectives, IP debate, and expert lecture, wherein our today's resource person, Mr. Saurabh Trivedi, will share his views on the topic. Sir is the founder of IP Samadhan and director of Actaria IP Consultants. Sir is an esteemed authority in the realm of intellectual property sector. Now, not wasting much of your time, I request Dr. Divya Khurana, Associate Professor, School of Law, to please come over the stage and to welcome our resource person of the day.
A very good afternoon. Good. So, I'm here to welcome a person who himself is a name in the domain intellectual property. I don't know how much you guys, all of you, know about what intellectual property is, though I can see some faces who have already heard a lot about intellectual property from me. Talking about intellectual property and the person that we have, I was just having interaction with Saurabh sir on the topic, right, intellectual property, and we were just discussing that how niche still IP in itself is, right? Though it is one of the mainstreams when we are talking about business, entrepreneurship, or any other stream that we can imagine. But intellectual property is one of the main themes that we have here with us, and we are really blessed, Saurabh sir, that we have you amongst us to discuss and enlighten us, including me, on the topic, because I was telling sir that though we teach, we discuss intellectual property, but the sort of experience, exposure that you have in practical field, we are lagging behind. So a very warm welcome to School of Law, City University, and we are really obliged that you took time out of your busy schedule and you are here to enlighten all of us on this point. Not taking much of the time, I would request Saurabh sir to please come up and just discuss on the topic. Can we have a big round of applause for sir?
So thank you Dr. Khurana for this wonderful introduction, and thank you School of Law, City University, for organizing this National Intellectual Property Fest. And I'm happy to, I think it's not working. So I'm happy to share my knowledge, experience on this intellectual property field. Before starting with this, I just wanted to share some things with you as a business person, because I have completed my PGDM, MBA, Finance and Marketing. I'm from marketing background, and then coming into this LLB, LLM, intellectual property field. So this is something which came into my interest, and I personally feel very satisfied with this intellectual property domain. Okay, so whenever I'm going to talk with the students about this intellectual property, I'm going to say that this is a very interesting field where you understand about the innovations, inventions, or the new brands, how exactly a business is going to start with this intellectual property, without this intellectual property. But yes, anyway, there is somewhere in your journey, this intellectual property is going to come as a main element. Okay, a wonderful example I'm going to start it with, a Micromax. I think nowadays no one's seen this Micromax mobile phone. What happened with Micromax? Anyone knows what happened with Micromax? A big giant in the Indian industry, after a certain period of time, it just collapsed. Because Ericsson comes into picture and they say that you are infringing our patent applications. इतना बड़ा giant, the infrastructure he settled in India, but just miss this one element, intellectual property or the patents. Everything go out. So understand, whenever we talk about this intellectual property, it just come from our mind, a concept, a idea, whatever you think of. People ask me question about like idea is going to be filed as a patent or not. If you are talking about that I'm going to run a car on a water, it's not going to file as a patent. But if there is some kind of thesis process, then probably we think of to file as a patent. I think all of you heard about the intellectual property rights?
Yes, sir.
How many types of intellectual property rights are there?
So there are patents, then there are copyrights, designs are there, then trademarks, circuit designs, trade secrets, geographical indications.
Oh, I think slide is here. Thank you. So apart from this as well, there are plant varieties, SICL, semiconductor integrated circuits, layout designs as well. Okay, but they are not into the practice, so they are little less aware, or so that people are not filing. But yes, nowadays they are starting. Okay, whenever I talk about this patents, trademark, copyright, design, what exactly you understand about the patents? होता क्या patents? क्या है ये patents?
Innovative idea.
Innovative idea. Okay, or
It can be in the form of designs.
it can be in the form of design. Okay, a technology, a process, a product which is very unique in nature. Nature means in your intellectual capabilities. Everything starts from here. Maybe we are discussing informally here and some idea clicked into our mind and we thought of like we can file a patent application first and then we are going to make a prototype. It's perfectly fine. This is going exactly what you think of. यहाँ पर in your mind, an idea is coming into it. You thought of to present it on a paper and file it as a patent application in Indian Patent Office because you are a national citizen of India. So पहला हम अपने देश को देते हैं अपना इनोवेशन, अपना आइडिया. सो जब भी हम पेटेंट्स की बात करते हैं, कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी, कोई भी इनोवेशन, कोई प्रोडक्ट, कोई प्रोसेस जो आपको लगता हो बहुत इनोवेटिव है, बहुत नया है, वी नीड टू फाइल इट एज अ पैटेंट. और पैटेंट्स में ना बेसिकली 3 क्राइटेरियाज आर गोइंग टू कवर. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू फुलफिल दोज 3 क्राइटेरियाज, यू आर गोइंग टू गेट अ पैटेंट एप्लीकेशन. अच्छा, पहले बात कर लेते हैं स्टूडेंट्स की. व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी गिव्स टू द स्टूडेंट. साइंटिस्ट को मिलेगा, फैकल्टीज को मिलेगा, बट स्टूडेंट्स को क्या मिलेगा आईपी फाइल करके? किसी को पता है कोई बेनिफिट आईपी का? कोई बेनिफिट नहीं है.
Protection of work.
ओके, और यार I'm the same guy यार, I'm the same guy like you. But the only thing is that when I done a lots of business, then I understand that intellectual property is really important. And if I'm talking about a student's perspective, if you are going to file a patent application or probably 1 or 2 applications, then you get a chance to get a scholarship to study in foreign universities on scholarship. एक benefit ahead of others in job interviews. Nowadays companies are looking for creative minds. Okay, the people who can do something with their creative minds. It's not about like job is going to be over. Industries are there, companies are there, but they are going to hire as per their requirements. If you say that you do have a creative mind, you do have intellectual property, you do have intellectual capabilities, probably they are going to take you on board. So there are lots of benefit of this intellectual property rights for a student's perspective. Okay, so just whenever someone is going to ask you this question, so you do have a lots of benefit which you can tell him. Okay, so patents. Then another aspect which is known as a trademark. You know KFC, McDonald's. Why you prefer these brands?
They have a fame in the market.
They have a fame in the market. What else? Credibility. Or quality, which you think of by paying a premium pricing to purchase their stuff. Why we talk about Puma, Adidas, Reebok, and I think in Ludhiana market itself, there are local vendors who can make a better jeans than these brands. But we prefer those brands. Levi's की jeans चाहिए, Puma ही चाहिए, and हम उनके लिए premium pricing pay करते हैं. These are only the brand names which they have filed, and on these brands they are going to sell their franchises. They don't have a physical factories. They are just selling the franchises on these brand names. McDonald's, KFC, or any brand you can talk about. Even Tata Salt. Why you are going to demand Tata Salt in the market? You think it's a brand. So this is their property which they secured, so that if someone is going to infringe their right means, like if someone is going to make the similar kind of salt, similar kind of packaging, similar kind of a logo, or a match make, then they are going to enforce their right and claim the damages. जितना नुकसान आप हमारे को दोगे, उतना पैसा मैं आपसे बना पाऊंगा. People asking me a question about Puma यहाँ रोड पे बिकता है, एडिडास बिकता है 500, 600, 700 रुपए में. ऐसा कैसे पॉसिबल है? Why companies are not going to enforce their rights? एक दिन के अंदर माइक्रोमैक्स के ऊपर केस नहीं हुआ था. कंपनीज आर डूइंग अ प्रॉपर रिसर्च, एक इन्वेस्टिगेशन, कब किस काउंटरफीट ऑब्जेक्ट्स को पकड़ पाएंगे, तब जाके वो केस फाइल करते हैं. और केस फाइल, सूट फाइल करने का मतलब क्या होता है? जब तक कोई मुझे मेरे डैमेजेस पे ना कर पाए, मैं वो सूट क्यों फाइल करूंगा? मुझे पता भी तो होना चाहिए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कौन कर रहा है, सेल कौन कर रहा है. तो वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में टाइम लगता है. और कई बार क्या होता है, ये मैन्युफैक्चरर ही नहीं पता लगता. सो वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट फेज होता है कंपनीज के लिए. दैट इज व्हाई दे आर नॉट फाइलिंग अ सूट्स ऑन दिस निश ब्रांड्स. Okay, so these are known as a trademark. Trademarks are of two types. One is a device mark, which is known as a logo. You are going to claim everything on a pictorial presentation. KFC कैसा लिखा हुआ है, McDonald's कैसा लिखा हुआ है, किस fonts में लिखा हुआ है, कैसा दिखता है. This is filed as a logo, device mark. If something is right in a specific alphabet, direct in alphabets, it is filed as a word mark, which is having a wider protection. In India, people are talking about, even मैं अपना बता देता हूँ यार, लोगों ने मुझे बताया कि सर एक लोगो में फाइल करेंगे तो उसके नीचे हमारा ब्रांड भी सिक्योर हो जाएगा. ऐसे किसने कहा है? These two are different things. Logo only pictorial कैसा दिख रहा है. You are not claiming the words. If people are not going to use the similar kind of picture, then you are not going to enforce your rights. और वो अगर वर्ड में लिखा हुआ है स्पेसिफिकली सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी और ये वर्ड मार्क है, सो देन सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी कहीं भी नजर आया, सो दे कैन एनफोर्स देयर राइट्स. अगर सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी एक सर्कल के अंदर आया, एक रेक्टेंगुलर शेप के अंदर आया, तो सिर्फ जब तक वो कोई ऐसे यूज नहीं करेगा तब तक वो अपने राइट्स एनफोर्स नहीं करेगा. होप यू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट दिस ट्रेडमार्क्स, device mark and word mark. Another thing, when we talk about designs, you heard about a brands called W, जिनकी कुर्तीस आती हैं. कोई भी चीज दिखती कैसी है, aesthetic looks of a product, shape, size, this is going to filed in a design registration. कैसा दिखता है, बस glass, laptop, mobile, mouse, anything which you think is novel in a design perspective, you can file it. सिर्फ design, nothing else. Functionality, no. People get confused with the term design patent. Design patent term not used in India, it's used in US. लोग जब फाइल करते हैं और लोग लिख देते हैं वहां पे होता है सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ डिजाइन एंड देन प्रोबेबली दे मेंशन दैट दे आर गोइंग टू गेट अ पेटेंट्स. डिफरेंस ही नहीं पता. डिजाइन दिखता कैसे, ये चश्मा भी, बॉटल, ग्लास, कुछ भी वो है कैसा, उसकी शेप्स कैसी हैं. और डिजाइन में क्या चाहिए होता है? 7 व्यूज, top, bottom, right, left, front, back, and one is a perspective view. That is going to file as a design. That's it. किसी ने कुछ tweak around किया, हल्का सा pattern change किया, you are not able to enforce your design. Otherwise, you need to file a set of articles कि इसका और क्या probabilities बन सकती हैं एक shape की. Then आप सब पे अगर कुछ भी probabilities के ऊपर कोई use करता है, you can enforce your right. This is your intellectual property rights. And these are some negative rights, just to stop others to use your property. So this is known as a design. यार नींद आ रही है क्या? मैं पता है क्या, मैं पहले ना एडवोकेट तो बहुत बाद में, उससे पहले ना मैं एक एंटरप्रेन्योर हूँ. And I'm a second generation entrepreneur. और मुझे जब मजा नहीं आता ना तो मैं बहुत क्लियर रहता हूं, मुझे मजा नहीं आया. इट्स नॉट अबाउट, अच्छा यहां पे फोर्सफुल, कितने लोगों को यहां पे फोर्सफुली बिठाया गया? सच बताओ यार, कोई फायदा नहीं है यार, मजा ही नहीं आएगा. हंस रहे, इसका मतलब है फोर्सफुली है, अटेंडेंस मिलने वाली है. अच्छा, फोर्स बनाता क्या है? किसी को पता हो फोर्स क्या फोर्स से बनता क्या है? नो वन हियर्ड अबाउट डायमंड्स. गलत जगह है. तो जब भी ना कोई चीज पे मजा ना है ना, और मैं प्रेफर करता हूं, इट्स नॉट अबाउट अ फॉर्मल प्रेजेंटेशन, मे बी प्रोबेबली वी कैन जस्ट टॉक. हम लोग बात करते हैं how exactly this IP comes into our day-to-day life. कहाँ IP आ रही है? Probably students बैठे होते हैं, informal exchange of their ideas. They didn't think of to protect them as an IP. कुछ भी दिमाग में आता ना. पेटीएम एक दिन में पेटीएम नहीं बना. पेटीएम वर्सेस पेपाल, ब्रांड फाइट्स. मुझे धीरे धीरे जो चीजें आती रहेंगी मैं बताता रहूंगा. बट मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं, इफ यू डू हैव अ कैपेबिलिटीज ऑफ योर क्रिएटिव माइंड, और ये बौद्धिक संपदा, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी, ये सिर्फ मेरी रिसर्च, मेरे इनफॉर्मल डिस्कशन, मेरी हॉबी, किसी भी चीज से निकल के आ सकते हैं. I just need to protect my right. When I am going to discuss this with the professors, faculties के साथ, they usually file their papers, research papers in journals, and these research are free to use by industries. But absolutely these are the copyrights of those faculties. But you know that copyright are not as enforceable as much of the patent. So that is why people are trying, and when faculty see the similar kind of things, that this is my research, they are not going to get a value out of it apart from their CV. So whenever I talk about this intellectual property, सच बता रहा हूँ यार, बहुत मजेदार टॉपिक है. And not in India. इंडिया में probably हम लोग बात नहीं करते, इसलिए हमें पता ही नहीं है कि what is the process. और बताऊंगा ना, how much is the cost for filing a patent? A large pizza, 1600 rupees. Filing a patent application here in India, only 1600 rupees. बहुत difficult task है. Because you are going to take a services from a professional, that is why you think of that it's a cost cumbersome process. but it's very easy, very cheap in pricing in compare with the US, China, Korea, Japan, Europe, where cost is somewhere around 5,000 euros in EPO filing. But India, just 1,600 rupees. You can file a patent application, you can become an inventor. Sir, वो पानी होगा. So, whenever we talk about this intellectual property, patents, trademarks, designs, copyrights, what exactly these copyrights are? As per the Berne Convention Treaty, a person who throws something or publish on internet, first to publish on internet, they become a copyright owner on that day itself. जो सबसे पहले even throw a lecture on YouTube or anything, आप उस दिन से उसका कॉपीराइट ओनर बन जाओगे. सर सही में मजा नहीं आ रहा यार, मुझे भी मजा नहीं आ रहा, वरना सीरियसली बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक है यार. कुछ और सीखना है? क्या सीखना है बताओ.
I think probably the first year students, they are freshers, so they barely know anything about IPR.
इसलिए शायद ये प्रॉब्लम आ रही है.
That's what the issue is. They are not very not, I think not even very much. They are not totally.
हाँ, even they have not yet.
Yes.
So हम और नीचे चले आते हैं, और नीचे आते हैं. ठीक है, बहुत नीचे आ जाते हैं. When I started this ना, मैं जब ये IPR सीख रहा था, मुझे भी नहीं पता था ये होता क्या है. So now I coming to my college life, और उसके बाद when I started to work in Ceasefire Industries, ICICI Bank, mutual funds, पता नहीं क्या क्या था. But one day I got a chance to work in a law firm. But I am coming from a marketing background. ठीक है, मेरी PGDM complete हुई, and they asked me to come and join as a business development manager, BDM, and to sell a law services to foreign countries. Okay, यहाँ तक तो क्लियर है. Being an MBA guy, उन्होंने मुझे क्या दिया हाथ में सीधा, start calling to inventors. और उस टाइम पे ना साइंटिस्ट, इन्वेंटर, इन लोगों से ना बात करने में मजा आने लग गया मुझे. One day I got a chance to talk with that touch pad बनाया था जिसने एप्पल का. मैंने सिर्फ फोन घुमाया, मेरे को मजा आया, मैंने कहा बात करते हैं. And another important opportunity, I'm going to call, जब भी मैं कॉल किया करता था यूजली, या आप कह लो जापानीज, चाइनीज, कोरियंस को, so they didn't understand about this English language. मैंने कहा ठीक है, नहीं समझ में आती, मजा आ रहा है, क्या हो गया. हम लोग ब्रेक करते हैं फ्रेजेस में, एंड वी टॉक अबाउट देयर पैटेंट, इन्वेंशन, इंडिया. मेरे को बहुत मजा आया कि उनको IPR समझ आता है, एंड दे रिस्पेक्ट दिस इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स. और कोई भी बिजनेस, आज आप किसी भी बिजनेस की बात कर लो, ओयो, पेटीएम, आप कोई भी बिजनेस की बात कर लो जिसमें भी आपको दिखता हो कि IP ना हो. कोका कोला, formulation kept as a trade secret. Coca-Cola filed as a brand, as a trademark. Bottle as a design. IPs हर तरफ है, आप डे टू डे लाइफ में भी यूज हो रहा होगा, बट हमें पता नहीं है इस IP के बारे में. That is why we are not talking about. जब आप इसे देखोगे ना, जब आप पढ़ने लगोगे अभी, और थैंक्स टू यूनिवर्सिटीज नाउ अडेज, मैं सीरियसली बता रहा हूं, ये टॉपिक डिस्कस हो रहे हैं. फ्रॉम जो आपको एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है ना, या एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करनी है, या कहीं पे जॉब करनी है, ये बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक है. थैंक्स टू योर सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग दिस नेशनल इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी फेस्ट. मैं फेस्ट बहुत सारे सुने थे, बट इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी फेस्ट फर्स्ट टाइम सुन रहा था. एंड आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग कि बहुत मजा आने वाला है आज हमें. बट एनीवेज, आई एम गोइंग टू कम बैक पेटेंट्स, टेक्नोलॉजी, प्रोसेस, प्रोडक्ट, कुछ भी आपके दिमाग में आता हो, यू कैन जस्ट प्लान और प्रिपेयर इट और क्राफ्ट इट ऑन अ पेपर, सबमिट एज अ पैटेंट. इजी. ट्रेडमार्क, ब्रांड समझ आ गया. डिवाइस मार्क, लोगो बहुत इजी करते हैं, मैकडॉनल्ड्स, केएफसी और कोई भी ब्रांड. डिजाइन, डब्ल्यू, रितु है ना, आई थिंक, आई एम नॉट, या रितु वेयर्स जो, ठीक है. ये कुर्ती के पैटर्न्स. और कॉपीराइट, जिस दिन सबसे पहली कोई चीज फेसबुक पे डाल देते हो, गूगल पे डाल देते हो, यू बिकम अ कॉपीराइट ओनर. But when you are going to make a website or anything specific, musical notes, then you need to file a copyright application just to avoid a conflicts. Just to prove that who published it first. Because court of law में facts चलते हैं, evidences चलते हैं. For that you need to file your copyright application in Copyright Office. उसके बाद the last geographical indications. Whenever you hear the term Pashmina, which territory comes into your mind? अरे पश्मीना सुनने के बाद टेरिटरी कौन सी आती दिमाग में? कश्मीर. It's not working. Whenever you heard a term oranges में कौन सा ऑरेंज? नागपुर ऑरेंज. Whenever there is something originating, manufacturing in a specific geography, state, they file their GIs, geographical indications, just to take a premium pricing, boost their tourism. Or even every state do have a list of their GIs. Karnataka, Kerala, any state. लड़ाई याद है? रसगुल्ला, वेस्ट बंगाल वर्सेस उड़ीसा. रसगुल्ला में हमारा है. ये आगे बढ़ गया इतना सारा. So boost tourism, boost export, economic growth. I think केवल लाइट्स बंद कर सकते हैं आप ये वाली.
बेटा ये वाली कर दो.
No working, it's not working ना. ये I think वो ये आपको करना पड़ेगा ना. Is it possible to get? अच्छा, it's just next. Works that can be copyrighted: literary, artistic, dramatic, recording, musical work. If you can just help me out, you can just sit there. Thank you. Just next. These are some advantages if you are going to file a copyright application. Anyone can file applications individually. Okay, it's not about a student, faculty, or कोई साइंटिस्ट ही फाइल कर सकता है. Now any innovator can file a patent application or any IP.
अच्छा सौरभ sir, I have something where a very thin line stays, right? So even for us when we are teaching the students, right? So even we don't do the justice while explaining this dichotomy, specifically idea and expression. How do you look into that?
मैम, it's just been a perspective of जब भी हम copyrights की बात करते हैं कि ideas, क्योंकि we cannot file them as a copyright.
Exactly.
It just came into our mind. If we are just going to see something came from you, it's your copyright. Okay, only thing is that how you are going to file under the intellectual property rights, because it's your method, it's your idea, it's your expressions. Okay, that needs to file under the copyright application by yourself. Then probably people are going to understand that it's yours. Otherwise it's a sorry it's a general thing that we understand. Sorry. whenever we talk about any method कि जहाँ पर as a teacher ये आपका था and you throwed but you had not filed, it just been as per the Berne Convention Treaty, because I tried to convince, I launched this on a social media, then it's your property. Only thing is that when you are going to enforce it, how you are going to enforce it? You don't have a paper. That is what exactly needed by a court of law. You can just submit this in the form of that this expressions, this ideas, gestures or content, it's my property. In the form of paper ही जाता है मैम. There is no other way. You can't even if I'm not going to comment on the practice which is primarily using, but only thing is that as per the logic it is going, but as per the law they required all the proofs on paper, otherwise it's not yours. Next. Next. Now I think probably for the students. अच्छा आप ना आपको जो आपके मतलब कहना आप वो पढ़ लो यार. क्या बेनिफिट्स हैं आपको एज अ स्टूडेंट इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी, यू आर गोइंग टू फाइल IPR, क्या बेनिफिट होगा? Ahead of others in job interview, credibility at workplace, revenue generation from monetization. If you do not want to work but you do have an idea, you file the patents and the industry you identify. There is a case law, Grey Orange. If you heard about this company, Grey Orange. Two students, they understand a problem. Thank you. They understand the problem of a logistic company and come back with a solution. Thank you. Solution क्या था, प्रॉब्लम क्या थी? दो स्टूडेंट्स, ग्रे ऑरेंज की बात कर रहा हूं, कंपनी नेम इज ग्रे ऑरेंज. दे वेंट इन अ फैक्ट्री, अंडरस्टैंड दैट देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. प्रॉब्लम क्या थी? एक लेबर एक चीज को उठाती थी और दूसरी जगह रखने जाती थी, तो देयर इज अ टाइम, और टाइम इज अ मनी. दे आर लूजिंग दैट मनी. और इन दोनों ने वो प्रॉब्लम समझ ली. दे कम बैक. अच्छा ठीक है यार, डिस्कशन करते क्या हो गया, क्यों परेशान हो? ठीक है. सो दे अंडरस्टैंड दिस, देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम, और उस प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन. अब वापिस आए यूनिवर्सिटी में और उन्होंने सॉल्यूशन बनाया क्या? रोबोट्स. और रोबोट्स के ऊपर उन्होंने फाइल किए IPs, इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी. देन गो बैक एंड से दैट वी डू हैव अ सॉल्यूशन फॉर योर प्रॉब्लम. उन्होंने कहा ओके, और उन्होंने वो अपने रोबोट्स वहां प्लेस कर दिए. या प्लीज. I tried that, but the only thing is that when I see that there is no interest, then probably that is why I thought of to entertain the Indian ones. Okay, so I hope everyone understand this intellectual property, common types of IP. If I just wanted to ask people from back, do you hear about this patent? You understand patent? Sorry? Okay, thank you. So these are some benefits which a student get if they are going to file a patent applications or any IP. Okay. Apart from that, universities enhance reputation, higher intake of students, collaboration opportunities with foreign universities, NAC accreditation, industry academia relationship. Then startups, probably you heard this word, startups, since 2016 when PMO announced Startup India program. 35% higher possibilities. So whenever someone is going to pitch in front of me and they say that they do have a patents, they do have a trademark, they are having a competitive edge over others, then I do have some interest in their concepts. Then I seriously take these applications to the next level for investments. Got it? Everyone see Shark Tank, Dragon's Den? So people are going to say that they do have an intellectual property, they filed the patent application. But after a due diligence, when we realize that they don't have a real patents mean that they filed a patent on some different scope, and whatever they are going to present in front of investor, it's different concept. Then people say that investor is not investing their money in these startups. Absolutely, because we are finding those startups are not worthy, and in due diligence we are going to get them out from our investment rounds.
Ashish, there is one.
Please.
Sorry, I'm.
No, it's fine.
When you go for the IP protection of the startup specifically, there must be not many of startups who are doing approximately the same thing. Then how do you tackle with them when you know that two of your clients are doing approximately the same work, and then you try to protect the same work and justify your clients as well at the same time?
Ma'am, whenever this question comes, I always ask, like, I see the similar kind of a startup in a Jaipur and a Indore and in a Chandigarh. Okay, so I ask, like, who do have a competitive edge, or who filed a patents or IP first? If I identify that a person filed IP and that is coming from a Jaipur, then probably I'm going to give them some competitive advantage over others. Okay, so we understand if they are going to respect IPs, because again after 5 years down the line probably they are not able to run their business because IP are not filed by them, or they are not respecting others' intellectual property. The case is happened with so in a startup's case, we understand the person who filed the IPs on their concept first. It's about Jaipur, Chandigarh, or any specific reason. If not, then probably we are not going to see them as a serious entrepreneurs. So this is our perspective to evaluate the startups.
So then what do you do with the other one? If you have one same startup in Jaipur and same in Chandigarh or same in Delhi, right? So you pick up that, okay, this Jaipur one is more
prominent.
जिसका ज़्यादा वो है. So then what do you say to the other two, that we are not going to file or we are not going to go ahead with your IP protection or what?
No, whenever I see my perspective as an investor, okay, like if I see that they had grown something very good, or probably they had generated the revenue over others, then probably I will try that both startup can merge together.
Okay, you collaborate then?
Yeah, I try to match make, so that probably because they need a team, they need a IP, but they do have a good space or execution way for their startups, then probably they need to merge themselves. So I'm trying that thing. But
whether this is kind of interaction in the subsidiary companies of a normal company?
Subsidiary of an
Merging the two, collaborating the two?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever someone is having an IP and someone don't have an IP, probably they are going to commercialize their or tech transfer or probably any other way, where they are going to sell their IPs by taking some stakes in the company or becoming their employee in the company or any other which they think of, or taking some kind of lump sum amount in transferring their IPs to them.
It is something similar to what Shark Tanks they are doing, that if they are taking a share in someone else's business, whosoever is investing there, so that's how these two merged companies they do.
Absolutely. That everyone is going to do. If I do have some kind of companies in my pipeline or probably in my portfolio, then I'm going to look for those ideas who can complement or probably helping them in the way of patents, IPs, or any other way. Maybe they are good at their HR work, their outsourcing work, their network. Probably they can just do a matchmaking.
Pick out the best out of these, that what best everyone is having, and then you make them collaborate and work.
True, absolutely. But the only thing is that whenever I talk about this intellectual property, this is a first step. It's not about the last step that I do something or getting an investment from the sharks or anyone else, then I'm going to file an IP. No. You need to take a first step at very initial stage when the idea is into your mind or solution is into your mind. Just file the IPs, just file your trade names, and even we discussed about some
Is
domain.
it really very wise that without even, because many a times this is what I've seen, that people they just jump and okay, let's get an IP protection, and later on it doesn't work with them, they are not using it. The way when you get a trademark and it is not being used for several years, then other people they come up and they say okay, then just rest into peace now.
The only thing is that you are not going to lose anything. It's not about like you are not going to take an insurance because accident is not going to happen in the next day,
Right.
or it is not happened so far, so I'm not going to purchase an insurance. Okay, it just mean the day when it's going to come, probably this intellectual property gives you lots of things.
But this is very tricky that you don't know whether your IP is going to in future it is going to work or not. You're filing an IP, right? You try to get all the benefits, and in the end it doesn't turn out to be a beneficial one.
Ma'am, you can just name about any stakeholders. If you can just see, if they file our IPs, okay, they get these benefits anyhow. Okay, it's not about like they are going to get a money or not. Probably intake of students by universities, they are going to get a revenue. Or anyone, you can just see the startups, 35% higher possibilities of success than others if they file an IP. So I'm going to take them as a serious entrepreneur. If they invested something in their technology, in their intellectual property, or in their concept, that is how we evaluate this startup. People asking me a question like why IITs, why BITS Pilani, why IIMs? Because they had compromised their huge packages over this entrepreneurship. That is why we think of that they are more serious. And we understand if they filed an intellectual property from a first day itself. Probably that is why I say if it's your hobby, it's something research, it's some informal discussion, something take place. And filing a patent, 1600 rupees, 1600. I think the benefits are much more.
But then how would they justify the element in patents that commercialization has to be there?
And the only thing is that why commercialization, whenever I'm going to discuss this commercialization, why commercialization is not happening? Because there are two types of IPs. Only thing is that one is enforceable and second is marketing. Okay. When you as an individual, you file a patent, you think of that I'm going to get a patent anyhow. Anyhow means like when we are going to discuss this with the hearing officer, probably I am going to convince or accepting everything what examiner is going to tell us, and we say perfectly fine. We filed 10 claims and he said that I am not going to allow your 1, 2, 3 claims. You said perfectly fine. You get a patent. Okay, so the only thing is that why you are not able to commercialize it, because you are not going to get this patent as an enforceable patent. Until and unless you do have an enforceable patent, you can't enforce on anyone. Why people is going to purchase your IP or any industry? Why?
You're not able to sell it well.
Probably, or you don't have a right enforceable. They are going to identify the loopholes in your existing patent application, and they are going to try invalidate your claims when there is a need. And apart from that, they didn't find you are going to apply patent today and you are going to get it after 10 years. So for the next 10 years, they don't require it. Technology is obsolete. That is why commercialization is not happening. People trying, but only thing is that in terms of faculty's perspective, academician, they filed a patent, they think of that I am going to get a patent. Only thing is that. I just wanted to write it in the CV. And for making an enforceable patent, there is lots of brainstorming required. Because you are going to enforce these patents. That is why Microsoft, IBM, Ericsson, or any company you can talk about, they do have a good R&D team. Just thought of their ideas and finding out the loopholes and gap analysis and file the patent application. They don't think of today. They are going to think of 20 years ahead. When you see this iCore 5, iCore 6, so probably they are iCore 20 already been into the market. So आज की बात नहीं है. 20 years ahead, then you can file a patent applications. Next. Process of filing IPR in India, it's very easy. Application form filing, this already all informations are available on ipindia.gov.in. All information is there. Every step is mentioned. If you are going to hire a professional, probably they need to charge you the higher fees. If you wanted to write a patents by yourself, probably you can just go on eSpaceNet, Google Patents or some free patent databases just to understand how to write these patent applications. If any idea come into your mind, any apparatus, any product which you need to file as a patent, you can just put there as a keyword and get the extraction of lots of applications which probably filed in US or in China or in any other country. Just do it yourself. No need to hire a professional. Next. Example. Inventor licensed the system to Coca-Cola at 1/10 of a penny per can. During the period of validity of the patent, the inventor obtained 1,48,000 UK pound as a royalty. Understand, you are not going to do your business. Only thing is that you need an innovation in your mind and file a patent application so that you can sell it to the industries who need it. No need to start a business. Only thing is that you can just sell your patent applications to the companies who require. Or probably if you are not going to get a solution, you can just go and find out nearby industries, understand their problem, what kind of problem they are facing, just come back to the university, find out the solution, file a patent, go back to them and say that we do have a solution. But it should be a feasible solution. Next. They don't have a physical factories. I already talked. Next. Coca-Cola, KFC kitchen recipe, Maggi masala, they have kept it with as them to keep as a trade secrets. There is only disadvantage of this trade secret if someone has done something by their own research and identify the same formulation. I do not have anything against them. So it's just been a careful observation what kind of formulation we need to file as a patent. Even nowadays food recipes are going to file as a patents. So it's again the innovator's mind who understand what needs to be filed as a patent, trademark, copyright, design, or just to keep it with yourself as a trade secrets. No need to share it with anyone. Next. When you file a trademark, you are going to see TM when it's in the process of getting a registration. But once you are going to get a registration, then you are able to put R under the circle. Next. Few examples on trademarks. Next. Come to the one where the quiz is mentioned. Bus. Next. I think this is for you all probably, if you wanted to play with me. Find the famous trademarks. I just wanted to hear from you all. Loud, yeah, loud.
Pepsi, Tata.
Or
Lux.
at all. Babool. Where's the life boy? Already got. Next slide. Link, Cadbury, Horlicks. Next. Find the IP. The first one. Oh. Find the IP. The types of intellectual property. Which type of IP is first one? Design. Are you sure? It's design or copyright? Confirm? Lock कर दें? So it's a copyright. Second. कोई और डिजाइन से वेरी करता हो? पेटेंट? So it's a design. Third. Trademark. All IPs are there in the third picture. All IPs.
Design, aesthetic look is there. Trademark, patents, everything is there.
Patent, LED display. Software filed as a copyright. Or ICs, the board, SICL designs. And overall product looks industrial design and the logo is there. Fourth. I showed trademark. It's a trademark. Fifth. Everything. Fifth. She said everything. Design. Trade dress. I think we had taken this example. Coca-Cola. One is there as a trademark, Coca-Cola. Second, bottle as a design, and formulation as a trade secrets. Next. Back. Which type of IP protects the painting painted by artist? ये तो मैम आगे से आंसर दे रही हैं सारे. Second. What protects the intellectual property created by a fashion designers? Back, from back. Copyright, design. Sure. Design. Designs. Next. What protects the advanced disc brake for bike developed by the inventors? GIs. Ma'am, on the back. Sorry? Patent. Okay. Sure. It's a patent. Which of these is a geographical indication? Nagpur orange. Next. What does a trademark protect? Thank you. Next. How long can a patent last? 10 years. Absolutely. It's a 20 years. It's not a 10 years.
Earlier it was 10 years, then it was changed to 20.
So whenever people ask patent 20 years, design 10 years, extendable to 5 years, next 5 years, trademark 10 years, unlimited time, but you should renew every 10 years. Next. If you write an original story, what type of IP gives you the right to decide who can make and sell copies of your work? Copyright. Wow. Thank you. Next. Imagine a cricketer sets up his own company to sell his own range of clothes. What type of IP can he use to show that the clothes are made by his company? Trademarks. Wow. Thank you. Next. If a company develops a new technology that improves its main product, what type of IP can they use to stop others from copying their invention? Final. Law. Patents. I just wanted to know from your end. No answer? None of the above? It's a copyright. Thank you. Finally, thank you. लंच की याद आ रही थी. That is why interest lose हो रहा था. But no worries, anytime. Probably I'm happy to discuss this with you. Probably in the next year, when you think of this, how this intellectual property is going to work in your day-to-day life, or probably when you go outside and see these kind of infringement, then you understand how exactly this IP is more beneficial for you. So thank you CT University, thank you School of Law for organizing this National Intellectual Property Fest, and thank you to Dr. Khurana and Aishwarya ma'am and sir as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. It was a very knowledgeable session for the students as well as for us as well. Sir has a very busy schedule. Every day he is into certain seminars or certain guest lectures. So, sir, thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule and to be with us. After this, you have a break of approximately 30 minutes. Then again, we'll be back here we have IP debate. Thank you so much, sir.